David Saga, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show. This is the Star Wars news coming up. Let's get right into it. Kathleen Kenedy has been confirmed that she'll be the long-term head of Lucasfilm at Disney. A bit more about this in my interview section later on the show, but yes, so she has been confirmed by the big poncho, you could say, from Disney, that she is confirmed to be the head of Lucasfilm for the long-term future. Whether that sticks on her terms or even the bosses at Disney, that is yet to be shaped, again. But yeah, she is confirmed. Anyway, so that's some Star Wars news there. Speaking of Kathleen Kenedy, which is really coming from the Disney camp, which is technically coming at the moment from Disney Plus, it's reached 100 million subscribers worldwide. That's amazing. 100 million subscribers worldwide. It's really sort of ahead of the game for themselves. They really have projected quite big for Disney Plus, but they did not expect it to be this big. They're sort of surprised. And yeah, so 100 million subscribers for Disney Plus at the moment. Technically with a catalog that is more like a library and a couple of original shows. So they're doing the right thing somehow. Anyway, for good reason. Anyway, so to more news. If you want to get yourself on to a Cara Dune Funko Pop or even Black Series figure, you really need to get your act together. They are fastly running out as they stop production of this. Hasbro stop production. So Cara Dune is the female character, lead character in The Mandalorian. That's played by Gina Carano. She recently got fired about a month ago from Disney Lucasfilm, and so there's been a bit of heat about that, especially with YouTubers and just the moral sort of behind of her firing. Been a lot of questions about it. So, but if you do want to get a Cara Dune sort of thing, get yourself a Funko Pop, I would say, or Black Series. They've even halted the release of the visual guide for The Mandalorian, and just some books connected to that. So it really is all lights, camera, action in an opposite way for Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune. But anyway, that is the Star Wars news for this time around. Let's get into the views. Views is my story ideas, that it could be anything within Star Wars. A movie, a poster, a song, an episode, anything. Because we're sort of talking about The Mandalorian, Cara Dune especially, season 3 really is to begin. Technically, no release date yet, but should be at the end of this year, unless they do another series coming before that. What type of story could Disney do to distract this whole Cara Dune thing? Even though I think there's a lot of reason to not be distracted, I think there's a lot of unfortunate things happening to her and even within Disney. But what could you do? I think you should pick up the pieces from using Luke Skywalker again. That would really give a rush to the Star Wars fans. Sort of connecting from the end of season 2, beginning into season 3. That would be a great story idea. Sort of having Luke sort of come, a bit of a surprise as well, not expecting that Luke would be still in it, but somehow a story detailing around Luke, that would really distract the fans. To be honest, a story would be great anyway. Excuse me, I do apologise. Don't worry, it's not COVID. Don't worry, it's not a cold. It's just a tickle. But anyway, so I think, I'd love to see a bit more story behind Luke Skywalker, that is, and to see, sort of some of the wheelings and dealings of him at that particular time in the storyline of Star Wars. Again, you should remember that it is after Return of the Jedi, way before The Force Awakens. So there's a lot of story to sort of say, to tell, I suppose. That's my story idea, really bringing Luke Skywalker back into the start of Season 3. It will sort of get the fans back into the Star Wars mode and get yourselves, away from the whole unfortunate Gina Carano thing. That should not be forgotten, but let's get on with the story of Star Wars. That's what I think. But anyway, that's my views for this time around. Let's get into the reviews. Reviews of any product that I can find of Star Wars. It could be anything. It could be a song. But this week, it was a number. Look, I've been to America a number of times, especially New York. One time I just signed up to an email, I suppose, to Radio Shack. Radio Shack is a very big entertainment, sort of electronic entertainment store in America. Well, I think in New York at least. We don't really have it here in Australia, but they keep sending me emails, and every so often lately they've been sort of sending sort of Star Wars type of merchandise. I thought this would, it's not an amazing sort of thing, but it's still something to look at that could be good. You can get these Mandalorian night lights that project a thing onto the wall, which I think would be great. I think, but maybe something a bit more creative than what we've got with these images. I suppose these are the images they're going to use. I think it's it's a great idea. I just think it just needs a bit more creativity to it. Something that maybe moves, or something that is a bit more iconic, and even within Mandalorian, even if it's the night sky with just the Razor Crest starship, I suppose you would call it. That would be great just to see on your wall. That looks very real, and just projected in the wall. That would be great. So I'm going to give this sort of idea, this sort of concept, this thing you can purchase through Radio Shack. I'm sure you can get it at some other places, but Radio Shack in America, if you're outside America, I'm sure you can do it online. I'm going to give this about a 7.5 out of 10. It is very good. It just needs a bit more creativity. But anyway, that's my review for this time around. Let's get into the interviews. 2 questions I asked myself for you guys out there. First question, what do I think of Kathleen Kenedy being confirmed for the long-term future? Look, I'm not one of these haters. I really hate upon Star Wars. I mean, yes, things can get me a little bit riled up and stuff like that, but I just don't really get into the hate sort of thing. I think it's a good thing. She is a great producer. She has shown that she can really create revenue for Star Wars. I just think a bit more, stop missing the opportunities, especially with storylines, would be a good thing. But I don't see anything wrong with Kathleen Kenedy. I think there's a lot of backlash out there with Star Wars fans, hardcore Star Wars fans. I sort of get where they're coming from, but at the same time, I'm not really bothered by it that much. Everyone has their own opinion. I do think, she has a proven track record in a great producer, not just in a financial way. I think creatively, she's the one who brought E.T. and things like that to the big screen. Very iconic, especially in the 80s. I think it was 83 that came out. It was just, I think she knows a lot. Maybe she's a little bit transparent with some sort of Star Wars ideas, but, she just needs to get her head around this and maybe speak with, a better sort of Star Wars fan advisors like myself. If you need that advice, I'm here. But anyway, so that's the first question. The second question, is there anyone that I can think of to replace Kathleen Kenedy? If so, there's been talk that Dave Filoni, who created Rebels and Clone Wars and the Ahsoka Tano character, and probably the actual show that's coming up, the live action show on Disney Plus, could he be the one? I don't think so. I think he wouldn't even want it personally. In my opinion, I'm sure he would, he can answer the question himself, but I don't think he would be the best fit for the job. I think he's got a creative mind more than a more creative Star Wars mind rather than a producing sort of mind. I do think Jon Favreau is a very good possibility. So I'm going to say, you know, out of the people I know, Jon Favreau could be the one. He's very business-minded, but yet he's down-to-earth and very creative. He may just have to step back from the creativity. I don't know what his feelings on that would be, but I think he could handle that position. Whether it's male or female or whoever would take over the role from Kathleen Kennedy, you would just need a bit of resilience, I suppose, and you need a lot of strength in pushing forward with Star Wars rather than backwards or in between in a storyline, that is. But personally, I think Kathleen Kennedy's fine. She just keep rocking, as I would say, and I don't think she's that sinister to how she's been portrayed. But that's my second question answer. Who would I think? I would say Jon Favreau from top of my head will be your best candidate. And that's it. So that's the interviews TQ for this time, and the show The Force Always for this time around. It's a weekly show where I give you the news, views, reviews, interviews on a weekly basis. You can contact me by Twitter. Down below there's my detail, plus my Instagram. And if you have to, YouTube is whatever you like to do. And until next time, my friends, keep rocking.